Hi there, students in Pre-Calculus 11. This is Mr. Savoy here. So I'm going to be going through this practice exam that I gave back in 2019. It's going to be a great revision for your exam that you're going to write in 2021. I'm going to chunk this video up into kind of each page or outcome, and so it'll be easy for you to jump between whatever page you kind of want to go to. So without further ado, I'm just going to dive right in. So question 1 here. So we're going to go into our first unit here, and you're going to notice outcomes labeled at the top. Sometimes these outcomes can offer little hints as to how to approach the question. But by and large, if you've studied, all you have to do is read the question, and this exam will be pretty straightforward in terms of being very outcome focused and very skill based. So first thing we want to do is simplify. So I'm going to look at this and say, okay, I want to simplify -5 plus 2. Well, -5 plus 2 is just going to give me -3. Of course, it's in the absolute value signs. And then the absolute value of -3 is going to give me +3. Okay, and that's all you have to do for this question. There's a reason this question is only worth 1 point. Okay, second question, I want to evaluate this rate here. So here I've given an absolute value expression, -x squared minus 3x. Where x is equal to -4, okay? So what this is saying is that, hey, this is -4, so wherever I see an x, I'm going to replace it with -4. So I'm going to write the negative absolute value, or absolute value negative, sorry, it should be curved brackets there, -4 squared minus 3 times -4, close bracket, absolute value sign. Next thing I'm going to do is actually start to evaluate it, so I'm going to leave that negative outside there for a second. -4 all squared is +16. -3 times -4 is going to give me +12. And then I'm going to close my absolute value. -16 plus 12 gives me a -4. Close, close. And the absolute value of -4 is, of course, 4. Okay. And then finally, we're going to tackle this little equation right here where I've got the absolute value of 2x minus 10 plus 1 is equal to 5. First thing I want to do is I want to get the absolute value sign by itself. So I have this absolute value of 2x minus 10. My first goal is to isolate for that. Luckily, it's pretty easy here. I'm just going to subtract 1 from both sides, which will give me the absolute value of 2x minus 10 is equal to, in this case, 4. Okay, now here's where some students will kind of mess up. They'll just say, okay, I just have to add 10 now divided by 2. And that's actually going to get you to one of the possible answers. But when we deal with absolute value equations, it's kind of like quadratics where you can have two solutions that pop out. And the reason being, like, let's just say for a second here that I've got the absolute value of -4 is equal to 4. Check mark, that is correct there. But at the same time, the absolute value of just regular 4 is also equal to 4. So the only thing I know is that, hey, I'm equaling to 4 here. So inside the absolute value signs could be a -4, or it could be a +4. So basically, I always like structuring mine visually like this, where you've got a positive and a negative root. And so the first possible way is the one that, everyone kind of thinks of, just saying, oh, 2x minus 10, that's equal to 4. However, at the same time, there's ambiguity there. It could be -4. So I have to account for that and say 2x minus 10 also could be equal to -4. Next thing I'm going to do, and by the way, both sides now are going to follow the exact same beats. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. That'll give me 2x is equal to 14. I'll divide by 2, x is equal to 7. Same thing over here. Like I said, same beats. Add 10, 2x is equal to 6. Divide by 2, x is equal to 3. So 7 and 3 are both valid answers. This question doesn't ask us, but I can just verify here to the side. So I'll just do this one right here where x is equal to 7. So 2 times 7 minus 10, close my bracket, then plus 1. So I'm just kind of, just checking to see, does that equal to 5? So 2 times 7 is going to give me 14. Minus 10, absolute value, plus 1. 14 minus 10 is 4, absolute value, plus 1. Absolute value is just 4, so 4 plus 1 is 5. Check, that makes sense. Over here, I'm going to do the same thing, where I'm going to say, okay, absolute value of 2 times 3 minus 10, plus 1. And then I'll go 6 minus 10, plus 1. 6 minus 10 is -4. Absolute value of -4 is 4, and of course I saw that plus 1 going along the whole time here, and that is also equal to 5. So you can always go back and check to make sure your answer is correct. The one final note I'll make here is if ever you get to a point where you isolate down and you get a negative there, okay? So basically you have a situation where the absolute value is equal to a negative. That should set off warning bells because an absolute value can never equal to a negative. I'll just make a question up here on the spot. Let's say I've got 2x plus 4, close bracket. I don't know, -1 is equal to -7. So I'd add 1 to both sides, add 1 to both sides. So 2x plus 4 absolute value is equal to -6. That's not possible. You can't have an absolute value outputting a -6. So you can actually just stop right here and say impossible. Now, you can find algebraic solutions there just by kind of ignoring that and doing both branches. But when you go back to verify, it won't work out. Okay, so anyways, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one when I tackle AN2.